And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, this is Scotty Roberts. You're here joining me live on my radio show, and I don't know if it looks that way on your end. My camera looks really freaky right now. Let me see what's going on with it. And I think it's because I have this new, can anybody tell, does my camera look really harsh and sharp right now? Because if it does, it's because I got some weird stuff, weird settings going on here. Let's see what's going on. That's exposure sharpness. I think it's a sharpness. There we go. That's a little better. How's that? Whew! Well, I don't know if you could see that, but it was really ultra sharp, and it was making everything look crusty, for lack of a better term. So, everybody, welcome to the live version of the show tonight. This is Scotty Roberts. You're listening to the Intrepid radio program right here on the Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY1.com. Go on over, see all the goodness that's Odyssey Radio. You can hear the repeat he's playing tonight, or that they're playing tonight over on Odyssey, because I decided to go live today. And so the live is only on the YouTube channel. And that's youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. And a lot of you, well, if you're seeing this, you're already here, so you don't need to know that address. So, why, thank you, Master Finn, always sharp. But that here, if I do this, do you notice this on my camera? Watch. If I take this and I do this, watch. Whoa, you see that? Are you seeing the special effect? Or is it, I've raised the sharpness up off the scale. And I wasn't quite that sharp when I first came in. I'm looking at the controls here. I was about like that. And it was really sharp. And it's supposed to pick up on the internal camera. So I had to back that way off to just right about there. So about normal right there. So it sharpens things up a little bit. My camera, the built-in that we do the show with, if you've ever noticed this and you look at it, slightly hazy, slightly fuzzy. It's been that way since day one with this computer. And it's just the way they make them. They're not made in high resolution. And so that's a problem. Let's see if I can also change what's my exposure doing? Oh, whoa, that goes way up. So I got to bring that way back down, about like that. That's fairly normal. And then my white balance goes up and goes down. Oh, that's not set to manual. There you go. We can do the white balance. Whoa, I get really blue. How's that for a stimulating, scintillating live radio broadcast? All right, and I don't think there's much else. I'm going to take the brightness down just a little bit because it was way too. These are these refined settings on this board here to try to give it a little bit of warmth, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of color. Saturation can go down. Oh, I'm black and white now. There, I'm 1960s. I'm 1960s television. And let's bring it back up to about, there you go. There we go. We're about 2019 right there. And the contrast is up very high. I could bring that down a bit. Now, this is interesting. I'm just playing with the toys on my camera board. And I think we're okay. There, we're just going to leave it right there. All right. Oh, there you go. Now I'm fuzzy. Let's fix that. There you go. Leave it there. That is an inauspicious way to start tonight's program. And so I just thought I'd give it a whirl. I want to say hey to everybody. I saw Matt Finn already and said hi. Steve Clark, how you doing? Doug Stack, it's good to have you in here from the very beginning. And Barry Chad, nice to have you as well. Who else was in here at the very beginning that I was saying hey to? Roger Rabbit. That's right, you were here nice and early, nice and cozy in the room. All alone, he said a while back. Plenty of room to stretch my legs. Somebody wake me up when you come in, please, he said. And wouldn't this be nice if it was, we're all sitting together in like a log cabin-y type of a setting, the wood floors with the big bear rug and a fire going and crackling in the fireplace, and we're drinking some tawny port or some single malt Highland Scotch, some I don't know, Cosmos for the girls. How incredibly sexist does it sound anymore for a guy, a mature male, to refer to women as girls? You used to say that all the time. Can't say that stuff anymore. So, and I don't even really say it. Just rolls off the top of my head. I always talk about girls because I have my daughters. I refer to my older daughters as, to my younger kids, I refer to them as sisters. To Rainey, I talk about the girls, the girls. And she knows we're talking about Abby and Bryn, my older daughters. And context changes about some things. But it's kind of a dumb thing to talk about. There's something I want to talk about tonight. Something that grates on me. Something that pissed me off, and at the same time gripped certain emotions of mine that I know where the anger comes from. And there's something that happened today, and I'll fill you in about that. And I'm going to get your take on it while we're going. So, Sarah Nichols, good to see you. And nice to have you in here tonight. Who else we got? Michelle Canham, freedom. So it's good to have you here. And what are we doing? I'm just scrolling through. Susie Q, how you doing, Mrs. Q? Good to see you. And let's see, what else we got? Iowa X is here. How you doing, Iowa? Good to have you. I don't know if I've ever talked to you on a live show before, Iowa. Maybe I have, but for your benefit and everybody else's, we're going to try to be doing this live more often. Make it not just the rare occasion, but make it the go-to. This is what we do with this show. And we're still working on that. And as I promised, by Wednesday of this week, we are going to launch the memberships here on the YouTube channel. And all the memberships do, it doesn't change anything for the daily show. You're going to get this daily show at 9 p.m. Central Standard, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Left Coast. You're going to get this every night, same time. No cost to it, no membership needed. You just show up and it's going to be here. But we're going to have extras that we start doing. And those extras are going to involve, and that's what I'll be announcing. I've got them all set. They're all done in writing. They're all up at YouTube. I cannot launch it yet until I create a video for it. So I'm going to create a video that introduces the memberships to you. And so far I've got it. I'm still thinking through, maybe I might change it. I've got 3 levels of membership. There's $1.99 or $2. It's $2 a month. It's a repeating thing every month. $2 a month, $5 a month, or $4.99. And I think the third one's at $9.99. I got to look back and see if I put it at $9.99 or made it $200.99 per month. I don't remember. I doubt anybody would buy that membership. But each stage of those memberships gives you something fun, an extra for you as a viewer, as a listener, reasons to come back. And that first stage is going to be something light, the honorable mention type of thing and all of that, and inclusion in some of the special videos. The medium stage, that $5 a month stage, is going to give you all special live broadcasts that nobody gets to see except you members only. Membership will have its privileges. And there's a couple of other perks in there as well. And then that highest level is going to be all the other stuff that I put together. Plus, get this. Remember, do I happen to have it here? Let me see. No, I moved it. Hold on. This is live radio. I'm going to go over there to grab something off the shelf. So listen to me. If you can hear me, I have a directional mic, so I'm going to really yell for you to hear me. Let's see where I put this so I can show this to you. Hang on, I'm looking. I thought it was right over here is where I put this. And now, of course, because I want it, you know what? I can't find it. It was right here. I'm still looking. Don't go away. Talk amongst yourselves, or, just talk with me. Watch and wait for this thing to be ready. You've seen it before, but now I can't find it. So that figures. It's gotten moved, that's all. Unless it's over there and I'm not seeing it. I don't see it. Well, okay, all it was the Intrepid magazine. Remember I had an issue of Intrepid magazine that was sitting here. Excuse me, that was the publication that I used to publish on a monthly basis back 10 years ago. And we ran it for about 4 years, 5 years, and then discontinued doing it. But that top level over here on the YouTube channel is going to get you not just all the other free fun videos that we're going to put up, but it's going to give you the a new Intrepid magazine. Now, it's not going to be the typical 80-page magazine that we did. It's probably going to be more like a 5 to 6 page magazine, more like a newsletter. But we're going to put something like that out digitally for all of you when you get into that higher membership. And I'll explain more about that later. There. Now, I've spent way more time on that than I was going to tonight. But I'm going to be announcing the official stuff and hopefully have it officially running by Wednesday. And Delaney, how you doing? Good to see you in here. Glad you can make it by. And we're live, so if you hadn't figured that out yet. And Barbie D, good to see you too. And who else is here? Scott Lowry. Oh, you remember the Intrepid magazines? Yeah, those were the days, man. Doing the Intrepid magazine, and I had it. It was on this shelf, or it was this shelf, and I've either moved it to some other I obviously moved it somewhere. I don't see it anymore. It's over on all the bookshelves over there, tucked in somewhere or standing upright somewhere. We always made those square bound. Now, it's not going to be a print magazine that we do. It's just going to be digital. So that's coming up too. And those are some of the perks you're going to get with the memberships that are here. I want to make it worth your while to say, I'll spend $10 a month on that. That's like 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. I can do that in a month and have it not be an obstacle or a problem for you. And what you're going to get videos. You're going to get special videos. You're going to get special whacked out special videos for you whacked out Intrep heads with the $10 membership. And there's going to be fun stuff for you to have. So it makes it worth your while. It's like I'm putting out $10 a month on that, or $5 a month, or $2 a month, and I'm getting good shit for it. That's the idea. So we're going to hopefully make it something that you're going to want to have and not want to live without. And, we sell enough of those memberships. Pays to be here. I don't have to do other stuff then to support what we're doing. So I'm going to leave it at that. It starts to sound like I'm talking too much about money. Like, pass the offering plate, and whatever the Lord charges you to put in the plate, you put it in the name of Jesus. So that's not what we're doing here. So perish the thought. Now remember these? Spark Courage. I've been starting the shows for a couple of times, 2-3 times with these. This is that little set that I found. It looks like a book of matches. And I got this at a garage sale last summer. And because I cracked it open, it looked kind of fun, kind of cool. So I opened it up and I started reading it. And what you got here is these fake matches that are in here. And the fake matches all have something written on them. And they're like daily challenges for you. And the challenge for me, it's a finite number of these. What are there? Maybe 50. There's 50 ways it says to be bold. That's what this is called. So, 50 times we'll be able to do this. And all I want to do is be able to pull one of these out of the box and extemporaneously look at whatever's written on here and see if we can talk about it a little bit. Get your input, and I'll tell you, that's what today's says. What does it say? You can read it before I can read it backwards on my screen. Okay? This is make an exciting change to your appearance. Now, that sounds vain. It's not about vanity. This is Spark Courage. This is taking the courage to do something that you haven't done before. And the exercise with this stuff is to do something to make yourself feel bold, to instill confidence. You know, one of the things, I look at my little kids right now, Flynn, who's 11, and Rowan, who's 9, and Ellery, who's 6. And I say, how can I instill confidence in my kids and have them have that confidence I didn't have when I was a kid? When I was a kid, I didn't speak up. I didn't speak up for myself. I remember there's a specific incident in my memory where I was berated by a teacher in front of the class. And it was, all I can tell you is I don't remember exactly what it was for, but it's not something I did wrong. And he made me stand in front of the class as he berated me. Now we're talking, this was either 5th or 6th grade. I want to say 5th grade, which would have made me, I was a year younger than everybody else in my class because they started me a year earlier. So I was what? In the 5th grade, I was 10 or 11 years old. I was 10. 10 turned 11. No, I was 9 and turned 10 in the 5th grade. And so when I look at my daughter now, she's in the 3rd grade and she just turned 9. Flynn's 11 and he's in the 5th grade. So I was a year younger than Flynn is now. I was 10. And so there he is. I'm a 10-year-old kid. He's berating me. He called me out for something in class. And I don't remember what it was. There were some other kids had done something and he was calling me out. So I was 10. This is the year, it would be 1970 when this took place. Now that's 50 years ago. And so he's berating me and I'm standing there and I remember the look on my face. I remember the heat in my face and my ears, the embarrassment as he's berating me for something. And I remember he said something like, I'll bet you didn't do it just because, you don't have the balls to do something like that. This is teacher. And frankly, and you know what? He was a substitute teacher as well. He'd just been we had seen him many times. But, and I wish I could, for the life of me, if I sat and thought about it, I could remember it, what he was on me about. But he told me all of this. And I remember thinking, and it wasn't until it was maybe, I was in high school. I bumped into him again with a couple of friends. After school, we were talking in the office. We'd stopped in for something. And he goes, hey, it's nice to see you boys. And I said, you know what? I said, Mr. Smith, I think was his last name, actual last name. I said, I have really despised you since 5th grade. He kind of came back and he wasn't sure why would you say something like that? I said, because of this incident. And I said, I didn't have the confidence and I didn't have the ability or the courage to know how to stand up for what I believed. And I said, you berated me for something. And I said, I don't hold that against you now. I said, it's just in my memory. And I wanted to share that with you, that there's something that you did and maybe you've changed your ways. You seem like a great guy now. I haven't seen you in years because I was in high school now. And we'd stopped at the elementary school for a reason, 3 of us guys, I think to see one of our old teachers. If you remember last winter, I went to the 82nd birthday party or 80th birthday party of my 5th grade teacher. This was the guy he was the substitute for. But that was the guy we went to visit at the school. All us kids who knew him, he invited me to his 80th. It's 50 years later, he's inviting me to his 80th birthday party. But the substitute was the guy we bumped into in the office. And that's where I got to have that exchange with him. You know why? Because I had gained a little more confidence. I had grown up a little bit. And so if I could instill anything in my kids, it would be the ability to grow your confidence, to be something, to be somebody that is strong and courageous. And by courageous, I mean confident, having the confidence to do and to say and to speak. My son, who's 11 now, Flynn, he has a tough time sometimes. Just meeting people, there's a little shyness there. He's not a shy person, though. He's very loud and vocal here. Shyness, I think, sometimes gets misunderstood. It's not really being shy. It's lacking the confidence to engage. And so if I could give him a gift of anything, it would be the gift of confidence. And so, like this little match said out of this just now, it said, be bold and change something about your appearance. But doing that requires you to incorporate a little confidence if you don't have it already. So let me encourage you to say, what is it about yourself, your appearance? I'm not talking about, your self-esteem, your internal issues. I'm talking about external. What would you change? And what prevents you from changing to something that maybe you've looked at and you go, oh, I like that, but I could never do that. Is it, I don't know, wearing a hat? I got one of my Penman fedoras right here. You know what? I didn't wear a fedora. I never wore a hat when I was a younger man. We considered them to be old man things. And it wasn't until I was around 40 that I started getting into wearing a fedora because I knew somebody that made them. And I understood why he made them. And so I wanted to change that about myself. I also didn't like the fact that you had to have a certain hairstyle, to wear a fedora. In the 90s, you couldn't wear a fedora. You know why? It squished your hair down. Everybody had to have puffy hair in the 90s. And so, now you can use a little Brill cream, put it in your hair, whatever it is, some kind of stuff, some pomade or something, you slick your hair back. And so wearing a hat isn't so bad anymore. So what is it that you would like to change about your appearance? What is it that you are not willing to try or not willing to change because you lack the confidence to do that, or you think somebody might laugh at you about something? What do you got? What are you doing? What do you got? Let me see. Is this for me?
No! It's
Whoa.
mine.
Yeah, that's what you just brought in. Canadian bacon and salami. Hard salami.
Mom,
So what are you walking around the house at 9 o'clock at night with Canadian bacon and hard salami for? Mom gave it to you?
I didn't write my name on it. It's mine.
Oh, okay. Well, it's yours, huh? And you need to write your name on it? Here you go. So she came in and interrupted my show so she could get a Sharpie. Okay, go. Take it out. All right.
Back when I'm done.
Steve, you kissed the girls in the first grade? Oh, woman's man from very early on. Fooking Sock says, where's my better half? She doesn't usually join me on Wednesday or Monday, Wednesday. There you go. Monday through Friday. She doesn't usually join me. Fooking Sock. She's Sunday morning. She does a show with me. Now, sometimes when I go live, if she needs to slip in here, I'll call her over and I'll make her come over and say hi. So if she slips in here tonight, she was off. She's a den mother in Scouts. And so she was off at a scouting meeting tonight. And she took Flynn to Boy Scouts and dropped him off. And then she went and did her meeting. So that's where she was all evening. And they didn't get back until after we started this show. So chances are she may not even slip in here tonight. Yeah, Michelle. Canadian bacon. Eh? And so let me encourage you off of this matchbook Spark Courage thing. This matchbook, change something about your appearance. Do it. Do it for fun. You know what I'm going to do? I want to get an official Star Trek tunic, from the new shows or the new movies, and maybe even one of the old ones, the old velour ones. Put that on and wear that out for a day. Go wear it to a meeting. Some of you say, are you in costume? Say, no. Why do you ask? So do something different. Do something fun. Life is too damn short to not enjoy what you're doing or to feel I can't try the things I want to try. So this is just one of 50 ways, this one we're talking about tonight, to embolden yourself, to gain your confidence, to step out and make bold moves. Who the hell cares what you're wearing? Or it doesn't have to be just clothing. It could be some outer appearance thing of some kind. Wear a scarf. Well, I don't wear scarves. So I don't wear them. Well, try it. Maybe it's cool. I got my red one right here. Look at this. So I take in the winter months, I can take a scarf and I put it on about like that. What am I hooked up on here? That's not working. It's not pulling through right. There you go. So I can wear a scarf around my neck. There are times like when I was in Egypt, we just put these things on and just throw it over your shoulder and you're good to go. And that's what we did in Egypt. We had is this the one I can do that with? Here, I'll show you something. When we were in Egypt, now I never wore a scarf because I thought, that's gay. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, in any way. Just the kind of terminology we used to use. I thought, I don't wear a scarf. Well, now I can take a scarf like this. This is one that John Ward gave me in Egypt. And this was British military in Egypt. There's Rainey.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? She says, what's up? Somebody was asking for you. Fucking suck. Come over and say hi.
Hold on, let me finish chewing my food.
She's chewing her food. Here, we'll turn it that way. There you are. There she is. Den Mom.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Except it was Boy Scouts, not Cub Scouts.
Okay.
I skipped Well, I don't know that I skipped Cub Scouts. I'm the den leader for Cub Scouts, and I didn't technically schedule anything tonight. I went with Boy Scouts instead.
You smell like Canadian bacon.
Salami.
You smell like hard salami.
Yeah.
Do I?
I just ate me some hard salami.
Hey.
What you talking about tonight?
Well, I was talking about doing this matchbook thing on building confidence. And we were talking about the one we drew tonight said, change something about your physical appearance. Be bold about it. Just have fun with it. Do it. And so we're talking about that. We're talking about the things that we do to change. Here, I got that light is shining in the background, and it's just kind of washing you out. So
Do I
there
smell
we
like
go.
fire too? You smell me?
Yeah, you do. You smell like fire and hard salami.
It was outdoor.
We're gonna have to talk about what you do when you're out.
It was an outdoor meeting.
Outdoors,
I was
really?
smoking the hard salami.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm gonna lower that mic a little bit.
I'm gonna take off a couple layers. Hi
Go.
everybody. Did I say hi yet? Why is this creepy bear
Here,
over
I got money.
Oh.
So you're gonna have to.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna put that back on.
You're gonna take off the hoodie too. You've had a hat on all day. Well, I was just showing people some of the things. One of the things I did for physical appearance, I said, is I didn't wear scarves. And so I thought, well, here I got this big scarf that I got in Egypt. And what you do, you fold it in a triangle, like that. And you just kind of roll it up like that is the way we got started. And if I remember right, we just, you got the two loose ends. So you put it on and you bring it around the front on either side. Just wrap it around. And then you tuck that baby in like that. You roll it around once or twice and tuck it in.
Does that keep the spiders and snakes from biting your neck?
The snakes from biting me.
I think I'm allergic to the salami. My tongue's going numb.
Yeah. Nice. And so, and that's what we would wear in Egypt, and when it was hot, we'd put that around our head and do the same thing. You can do, and of course that comes right off, but fix that hair. And, we did, all I really did was I'd wrap it and I'd tie in a knot. It's like a do-rag kind of. But, okay, so that was the whole reason. The only reason I brought that up was I didn't like wearing scarves. I thought it was gay. As I said before, and I don't mean any derogatory thing against homosexuals. I meant it's gay in that stupid sense of the word.
And it was for breastfeeding moms because I wore scarves a lot.
So,
hide the boo-boos.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, you don't have to wear a scarf, you don't have to hide that. And so all I'm saying with that was we're wrapping up the whole thing about this Spark Courage 50 Ways to Be Bold is that do things with your appearance that are unique and different. Don't let anybody of course, you can't do certain things if you work somewhere where they don't allow certain things. But find ways to change your appearance that suit you. Build your own confidence. I was talking about confidence building with our kids. I said, part of that, it makes me think about how we build our children's confidence. Look at Flynn, who's not so confident all the time. And we put him in Boy Scouts and we have him do stuff, and hopefully he gains some of that confidence building. And yet in the things where he's supposed to do the confidence building things, he can sometimes get up and he talks like you can't really hear him because he's not really, that's by nature doesn't do that. And I was the same way. That's why I brought up this story with the substitute teacher. There were things sometimes I couldn't open my mouth. Like what did we used to say? I couldn't say shit if my mouth was full of it. And so developing that stuff, though, coming to a way that you can be bold is by accepting who you are. And finally hitting that plateau where you say, I don't give a flying rat's ass what somebody said. Doesn't mean I don't have my moments of insecurity where I go, why is he doing that? Why is he saying that? Blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't mean that doesn't happen. It means that as a going concern for my life, I've chosen to say, I'm not going to care what somebody has to say because it's not their life. They can go do their own thing. I'm not going to have anybody say to me, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And have me go, oh, I guess my whole life is like I got to rethink my life. No, I don't. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be telling me what you think I should or shouldn't be doing. Maybe that's where it's at. And so it's like, we talk about this a lot, Rainey and I. It's like, if somebody says something, it's like, do we look at them and go, that's one person saying something to you. Yeah, well, he told this person, that person. Well, then there's three. There's three, there's six, there's a dozen people who think that out of millions upon millions of people on this planet. Who the hell cares what those three people think? Yeah. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's what this exercise is all about. Do what you need to do to build your own confidence. Matthew Sainsbury says, good night, Scotty. Are you taking off or are you just entering? Only way to learn, fucking sucks. Same here. And I haven't been reading a lot of your comments, which I should be doing more of because we're doing live tonight. But let's see what else we got. Corin, I see ya. A couple of my friends just died.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. A couple of them, huh? Was it together or was it like separately they died? So you had like two sets of mourning instead of just the one big one. So let's see, Corin, were you taken off out of here? Did I see you say that you were leaving? Anyway, thinking about you, brother. Sorry that happened. There's not much you can say to somebody in the middle of all that. That kind of thing.
Good night, Matthew.
Hey, Corin. Kelly says it's all good any way you do it. Scotty, I like coming in here. I'm glad you came in here, Kelly. And thanks for everybody who's come in here. So that's yeah. Woohoo! Go, Rainey.
I got a scarf on too.
You got a scarf on too. Take your scarf off.
No.
Take your scarf off. I'll do my cowboy riding.
And I wear this underneath. In case I need to cover my face.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I had one. That's my mask. When I go anywhere, if I wear a mask, I just put this thing on. And then I can pull that up. So we did today. We went to the bookstore today.
Yeah, we walked around and went pew, 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 pew.
There you go. All right, give me all your pollen, gringo. So, anyway. So, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and it was, I don't know how comfortable you are having me talk about it. I want to talk about what happened to you today. And because I want to talk about, I'm turning a light. Sorry for making the noise. I had shined that on Rainey for other purposes, and now I'm shining it away from her because I don't want to fry her face like that and fry her eyes. Look at those eyes, by the way.
They're blue.
How tiny your pupils get, you can see the blue. So, and I got the settings on this, by the way, are very. Hang on a second.
Dark.
Let's go brightness. We can bring brightness up, and we can bring contrast. It's very contrasty right now. Let's see if we can do that. Look at the screen.
Ooh,
like that.
Magic.
Or like that. I like it a little darker. It was like this when I came in. I
Whoa.
was like, whoa. Whoa.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Exposure. There you go.
Gonna make people think they're on a bad trip.
Hey, man. So there you go. That'll do. All right. So, clothing one's blood, clotting one's blood, says Corin. Learning new things about this virus and how it's likely bacterial, clotting one's blood. That's interesting. People I've known a long time and some people I just met. Well, I am still sad to hear that, Corin.
I took Rowan to the doctor today, and the question the doctor had right away was, had she had COVID yet?
Oh.
Because they're seeing stuff in young kids, like what Rowan
was
Flynn. Experiencing.
Flynn, come here. This is my boy, Flynn, who I was just talking about you.
Flynn.
Come over here. Here's my 11-year-old son.
Isn't he handsome? Look at that face. I just...
Oh, look at my sugar. Yeah. There, I've lit you up a little bit, Flynn. That's all. Come here. How was Scouts tonight? This is my boy. Look at the screen. Look at the green dot. And you can look right in people's eyes.
Say hi, everybody.
Say, hey, everybody. No, I might need a kid. Say, yo, bitches.
No, you do not say that.
You don't say that. Who said you could say that anyway? Man, sounds like something Mom would tell you to do. No, just tell everybody, hey, do you love school?
No.
Really, why? What do you know? What don't you like about school?
I don't like getting up early in the morning.
Early in the morning?
I don't like getting up in the morning.
Yeah, you don't like getting up before noon. You would rather watch TV all night. What was your favorite thing that happened today? I'm trying to get him to talk. What's your favorite thing that happened today?
What'd you get at Walmart tonight?
What'd you get at Walmart? What'd you get at Walmart?
Star Wars coloring book.
Star Wars coloring book.
A poster of
The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
What's the Mandalorian?
We got to catch up on some of those episodes. Come here. I'm not done with you yet.
No.
Corwin says his smile reminds me of my brother. Ooh, you look like someone's. You smile like someone's brother.
All these people see you. Look at that.
You have your
Kelly
mama's
Bout
eyes.
says he's cute.
Yeah, isn't he? He's
Cute.
so handsome.
Cute and handsome. Oh, I love him, my cute boy.
I'm done.
No, I can stay here.
No. See ya. That's my boy Flynn. You don't see much of him.
Colored pencils. Check the middle drawer over
So
there.
I've got the the settings are all weird because of this new extension that's in here controlling my camera now. So I'll either dump that out or have to go through all my settings. So it looks really dark in certain areas, so and bright in others. So I wanted to talk. Remember, I told you at the beginning of the show, I said I want to talk about something that happened today. That it pisses me off. It angers me. I mean, real anger. And at the same time, it taps into certain emotional places that you don't. I was so angry. I was tearing up at times when she's talking to me. And I'm not tearing up because I'm like, oh, poor me, or anything like that. It wasn't that. Sorry, I got a piece of
fruit fly.
Something flying in my face.
Our bananas went
it was because it tapped into something else. And it tapped into that anger. And anger, as we all know, they say it comes from fear. It also comes from the past, the things that scared us in the past, the things that angered us in the past, the things we couldn't control.
I need you to go out.
And hey, sweetheart, I need you to go out in the other room because we're doing live radio today. It's not a Sunday morning thing.
I'll give you peanut butter cup if
Okay.
you go out.
There's little Ellery.
And bribe you with food.
Say hi and then go on.
Nope. I'm not. Bubbles.
Bye. That's an Audrey thing. Audrey got her going on that.
Now out.
So as you know, there are things that
Peanut butter cups
can
on
make
the
you.
table.
Have you ever noticed if something really angers you or really hits you a certain way, it can bring those tears, and you go, "What am I crying for?" Because I'm not crying. I'm not sad. I'm angry. Well, sometimes tears have nothing to do with being sad. And today I felt bad for her because of what somebody did to her today. And I was so livid and so angry, not rageful. Rageful, you lose control of your faculties, you lose control of your capabilities, you lose control of. I'm sorry, I've got kids coming in and out today, mostly the little one.
One tonight, one tomorrow.
Anger, it's rage is one of those things where you lose control of what you're trying to do. I didn't lose any control today. I was very controlled, as a matter of fact. But today, now there was something. Rainey got a call, and you can talk about this. Stop me wherever you want.
A call.
She got a call a couple of weeks ago from one of the people at school up there, not the principal, but like a vice principal or something.
The counselor.
There you go.
The counselor.
And there was something that they said Rowan, our daughter, had bullied somebody.
It was almost to the point of bullying.
Almost to the point of bullying.
And he said, I don't want to use the word because that's a strong word. But it was almost to the point of bullying. He could not tell me the name of the girl that Rowan had this incident with.
Wouldn't tell us what happened.
But said they needed to take a break. Now, I know Rowan was having trouble with a girl named Bella. They got in a big fight. They weren't talking to each other. And so I kind of said, I know she was having problems with Bella. Is that the girl? And he said, I really can't tell you.
I really can't tell you who it is.
You're going to have to talk to Rowan about it. Well, okay, I'll talk to Rowan about it. And picked up Rowan from school, talked to Rowan. She's like, yeah, Bella and I got in a fight. I decided not to invite her to my birthday party. I was like, okay, that's fine. She only had 4 invitations she could give out anyways. You don't want to have your friend you're fighting with. I get it. That's fine. And that was kind of that.
That was a couple weeks ago, and it was dead. Now today, this is a couple weeks later. Now, remember, just to set the stage right again, Rainey doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know the people involved. Rowan had told her friend Bella. It's a school friend. You all you who have kids at school, do you know all your kids' friends, who they are? And I'm not talking friends like going out and hanging out. We're talking second and third graders here.
Yeah. Do you know all their classmates?
Know each other in school. Okay. Yeah. So she's got a friend named Bella she had a fight with. Okay. That's all we knew 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And nothing more said. Well, today Rainey picked up the kids from school and she ran them to the Quick Trip, which if you don't have them in your area.
The new Quick Trip.
The new Quick Trip.
With the new smoothie machines.
The new smoothie
machines.
And that was always a treat. We'd get them in the summer or anytime. The smoothie machines. You can go get a smoothie for 99 cents. And you make it and you watch the machine grind up the ice and do all the stuff in front of your face. And so they went in to and there was some guy.
So I told Flynn, because Rona had to go to the bathroom. Flynn, will you take your sister to the shake machine? Help her get started. And I took Rowan into the bathroom because she didn't want to go alone. And as we were walking out, I see this guy and he's kind of creeping. He's creeping the corner. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever.
What's your deal, dude?
Not really paying attention, just wondering why this dude was kind of staring around the corner and being weird. So whatever. And I take Rowan over to the shake machine. Flynn's got his shake going. Ellie's getting her shake going. There's a girl who went and got a pop, and she can't find a lid. So I'm like trying to help her.
Okay, oh,
maybe no. All right.
Okay, we're doing live radio. Do you know what that means? It means your little fights and stuff have to wait. All right, sorry guys. Family time, and the kids, especially the little one, has a really tough time figuring that out. Well, so here's Rainey, and she's got this guy creeping around. He's a big guy. He's like me. And
okay, so we're at the shake machines. Flynn's got a shake. Ellie's got a shake. This dude's standing there watching, whatever. He moved the corner, standing watching. And there's a little girl, probably Rowan's age, maybe a little older or younger, I don't know. She can't find the lids to her soda pop. So, maybe try this lid. I'm trying to help her while we're waiting for shakes. She gets the lid on her pop, and I go back, and this guy's kind of staring at us. And
dude, staring at my wife and kids.
We were there first. We're getting our shakes. We're waiting for Rowan to get her shake, and the guy's still standing and staring, and we're just finally Rowan shakes out of the shake machine. All 3 kids have their shake. Rowan's starting to put a cover on. And the guy's staring at me, and I turn and I go, I said, are you waiting for the machine? I said, we're almost done. And he's like, no. And I said, oh, okay. And I don't even remember what else I said. And I said, there's something I can help you with? He's like, you're rude. And I went, excuse me?
Excuse me?
Yeah, did something happen? No, you're
Did I
just
do
rude.
something? Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I said, I don't think I did anything. I said, did my kids do something? What? I don't understand. And he goes, you're rude. And after that, it all started with, and she's rude too. And started talking to Rowan, and you're rude. You hurt my kids' feelings. And I'm like, oh,
back up,
who
back up
are
there.
you? And I don't
who are you?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea who this guy is. I barely know his kid. There's not a ton of kids in the school, but there's a lot of kids in the school. Not sure which kid's his. I just know I've probably seen this kid. She looks kind of familiar. And he's like, you hurt Bella. And I'm like, what did I do? You're a bad person. You're rude. And just started telling me how horrible I was, how horrible Rowan was. And I'm like, I missed something. And then I stopped, and I was really patient, and I was really kind, because I don't know what's going on with this dude. And I want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. When you get pissed off as a parent about your kid, I get it. I get pissed off. But stop, use appropriate talk, use appropriate language. What's going on? Tell me about this. What happened today? Well, it's not today. It was about Rowan's birthday party. And I'm like, dude, Rowan's birthday was November 20th.
November 20th.
Her invitations went out 2 weeks before, maybe a week before. No clue what's going on. And your kid hurt my kid, and I can't believe how horrible of a person you are and how horrible your kid is.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're a horrible person because your kid hurt my kid.
I said, this really isn't the place for that. As a parent, you could have called me and told me what was going on. Well, as a parent, you should know what your kid's doing, and you should know what you're doing.
Let me interject here. We all know what our kids are doing all the time, don't we?
100%.
When our kids get in trouble at school, we all know what they're doing. We're omniscient. We're all knowing. Every argument our kid has with another kid, are we there to soothe over that conflict that they're having? No. That's what they're supposed to do. They learn conflict resolution. And it wasn't a big blowout. It was just something that happened. But she got a call about it 2 weeks ago, but the guy didn't fill her in on any facts. She didn't even know
about that. It was just Rowan is fighting with this girl. They need to take a break. Okay. And so this guy is just telling me how horrible I am. And I'm like, you could have called me as a parent, from parent to parent, from adult to adult.
Yeah.
You could have called me. Why
didn't Amanda
you call me? Well, you should just know. He said, and I said, you know what? I said, I don't know what my kid does at school. Well, you should know. I know what my kid does. Well, come to find out, he works at the school, so I understand why he knows everything.
So let's cut to the chase of this. It's 9:48 here. Let's cut to the quick on this.
Quick.
So
it was probably 15 minutes berating me inside of Quick Trip, telling me how horrible I am, and how everybody knows how horrible I am, and everybody knows how horrible my child is.
Everybody knows.
And everybody in the school knows. All the parents know. And I finally it was like, dude, you should have called me. You should have stepped up, been the adult, been a parent, called me. We could have talked about this over the phone. I don't understand why you're attacking me in Quick Trip.
My take on this is, and I said to Rainey, I said, why is he attacking you in a public store instead of calling you on the phone or messaging you or text messaging you and say, you know what I would do if I had a conflict, my kids had a conflict, there was a problem?
Parent. I would go to the parent.
Hello. Hey,
parent.
Is this Brian? Hey, Brian, I want to talk to you about something our kids did. And see if you know. And I've done that before in the past.
Now, because you said we don't have a lot of time and getting to the gist, come to find out today, Rowan had an issue with her heart. I figured it was best to take her in. We took her in. Everything's good and fine. So I'm at school picking up Rowan, and this guy is in there, which after I sat down in the car and realized this guy that was in the school delivering mail saw me for the 5-10 minutes I waited for Rowan to come down, but didn't say a word to me. Didn't say hi, didn't introduce himself.
Same guy.
Nothing. Same guy. Then all this happens, and as we're home, Rowan tells me right after lunch, this guy was standing behind her and scared her. and said something. And she said, I was talking with my friend, so I didn't hear what he said. So he's confronting my child in school, in a public school where she's supposed to be safe and not have to deal with bullies. And I think the one thing that really got me too is Rowan ran out of the store. This guy, she was scared. She was scared this man was going to hit me. And she ran out of the store and hid in the back of our van. She was very scared, and I didn't know where she was. And I had to go find her because I finally had to just leave this guy because he wasn't listening to me. All he had to do was tell me how horrible I was and how horrible my child was. It was not a good situation.
Okay. Now, she calls me on the phone right after this happened. And I'm in a phone call, a semi-business phone call. And she tells me about this. And I think she's just telling me about it. She's very excited about it and worked up. And then she got pretty quiet at the end. And I thought, this is okay. This is an emotional thing. And so I said, well, get home.
Yeah, I was angry. I was angry and I was crying because I was so pissed off. Yeah. And then you're even more pissed off at yourself because you're crying. I was mad.
So she came and she told me about this. And of course, what's my reaction? My reaction is, I'm going to go give this guy a phone call. And I'm going to go find his number and look him up and give him a phone call. And she said, don't. I want to take this through the principal, and because all this started there. And the guy works for the school.
And that didn't all click until we had sat down and written this letter. And then we were trying to figure out, what's the principal's email? What's the counselor's email that I talked to? And next to the principal's picture is this guy's picture. He is employed at the school. He is around my daughter all times.
And this is the thing too, is that I, as a man, I've seen a couple of you guys in the chat room say, oh, I bitch slap the shit out of him, or I do this, or I do that. And that's your natural inclination as a male. First of all, so I wrote a letter to the principal, and I said, I would like to see, there was this incident, and it's one of your employees, and I recounted the facts and not the whole story. I just said, we can talk details later. I said, but there's one of your employees over an incident that you guys talked to Rainey about the two girls, our two daughters having a fight and a spat. Okay. I said, well, we moved on from that. Hopefully lessons learned, but now he's approaching my wife, accosting my wife in a public place, a man. Now, first of all, just picture this. Now, I know all the equal rights stuff and all that nowadays, but you know what? If you're a man, you don't go out looking to fight with or berate a woman in public. You don't do it. There are certain proprieties that I don't give a flying rat's ass what you believe about sexism or anything like that. There are certain things men don't do to women in public. And one of them is you don't berate them in public. And of course, we can come up with a million scenarios. It all depends on what the other person's doing, too. He took her out of the blue, and she didn't even know who he was. And he's berating her for being a rude person, a bad parent, and went on for 15 minutes. And I said, hearing about this secondhand, I'm like up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go have a talk with this guy. We're going to work this out. And, I was ready to just say to him, I was going to find his number. I was going to call him and say, how dare you approach my woman in public, a man that's bigger than she is, 100 pounds heavier than she is, and yelling and berating her in public. How dare you? And that's putting it mildly. Now, I could use all the effects and words I want to use to make this a really cool story, but you know exactly where my mind went and how I would have acted. And so I wrote this letter, and the principal did write me back almost right away. And this is 5:00 in the evening. And she wrote back and said, if you guys can stop in tomorrow when you drop the kids off, she said, let's all sit down and talk about this, meaning we two and the principal and the vice principal guy. And so I'm going to tell you something. This is why I wanted to bring this story up, is this idea of bullying and oppressing somebody, of treating somebody else badly. This is a thing where you've got a guy who's telling my wife that my 9-year-old bullied his 9-year-old by uninviting her to a party. None of that matters. As Amanda said, that's kids' stuff. They need to work the world out. This is, you give them the principles to work with. Now, did my daughter have a good reason? When I first heard, oh, my daughter invited her, then took the invite back, I might get kind of offended and hurt by that too if I was a little kid. Unless it sounds like they had a big spat and she says, you know what? I'm uninviting you to my party. I don't want you there.
And at that point, I would have called the parent and been like, hey, what's going on?
So that's what happened today. And my reaction to it was one of, I was ready to go rip this guy's arms off. Now, he teaches or leads like the hockey. He's not the coach.
I don't know that,
but does hockey
I remember
stuff.
He had the hockey shirt on.
Oh,
this guy made an impression on me. I don't like to talk badly about people, and I'm not going to. But this guy left an impression on me while I was waiting for Rowan. Before I knew what was going to happen, before what happened, I saw this guy, and it was just one of those things where he made an impression on me. And I remember the shirt he was wearing. I remember it said hockey. I don't remember that it didn't say any sort of name. That was what I told you. That's what I read off of him. Now,
dumbass.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my first impression. And then this happened. So I don't know that the whole hockey, that's my impression. But I know he had the hockey shirt on, so.
The impression that she gave me of this guy was when I was in the Marine Corps, I was back in boot camp, and where you have all the drill instructors yelling at you, and you had a couple of them that were, you could tell, and they all worked out, big arms and chests, and they're all working out. They got their Smokey Bear hats on, and they're yelling at you. And the one guy came up, and he had the little book, this is, it's the Marine Corps, oh God, what's it called? The Universal Code of Conduct. And he goes, this is how I picture the guy who approached her. He gets up and he goes, this book, this is your knowledge. Your knowledge. You gotta know this book and get this book in your head. So you got the knowledge. And you all want to say you're a recruit, so you couldn't do it, but you want to go, yes, the knowledge. This is the way this guy impresses me with what she told me about the way he is. And I will tell you this, my anger was so high after this today that anybody would go, I'll yell at my wife. We have our arguments. We can berate each other. She can call me, whatever, and I call her a whatever, and we get through our stuff, and so we have our stuff. That's for us. That's reserved for us. We can do that. But if somebody else comes to my wife and berates her in public, first of all, if I was there, it would not have happened. And
no, he wouldn't have even said anything if he were there.
Oh, just if my presence was there, he wouldn't have said anything. If I had walked in on it, it would have ended very quickly as well. And I'm not talking violence. I'm talking that shit would not be carried out. And I would make sure, and I always incorporate words over weapons first. I'm a talking guy. That doesn't mean I can't defend myself if I needed to. But I'm not talking about physical violence. I'm talking about putting him in his place. And there's ways you can do that where you intimidate the shit out of another person. And I would have come right between him and my wife, and I don't know what I would have said. I know what I would have said, but you don't know till you're actually in that incident. But I can tell you what, building confidence, part of confidence building is there is nobody that is going to tell me something like that or tell my wife something like that where I do not have the confidence to stand up and say, hey, you back the hell off of my wife, number one. If you have something to say, you can say it to us. And now I'm here. And what I told Rainey, I said, so I want to confront this man and say, now you face to face, man to man. Now you talk to me. You don't go berating my wife because you're bigger than she is and you can intimidate her in public. A woman with 3 kids in a public store and you're going to verbally accost her? I don't think so. And so that wouldn't have happened if I was there. It wouldn't have happened if I walked in on it. It would have stopped. And this is what she had to hold me back from acting on today. And I was so angry, it brought up those tears. And you know what those tears are? Those tears are things that I sat and thought about it. And you can think about this, you can laugh about it, you can do whatever you want or poo-poo it or whatever. It's the things from our past that caused that to happen. I have things that have happened to me in my past that we've talked about on this show before. I was an abused kid. I was sexually abused when I was a kid. You know what that instilled in me? I'm not afraid of people and things like, but what it instilled in me was, and she experiences this on a not so intense level. She experiences I'm not going to be told to do nothing by nobody. I'm sorry.
It takes a wiener swat to knock that away.
It does. I automatically go for my goods and cover them when she says that. But what that created in me was, I will not be controlled by anybody. I will not be talked down to by anybody. I will not allow anybody to do something bad to me. And I may be at fault sometimes because I may sometimes go overboard from the get-go. And when I see it happen to her or one of my kids, I'm like the Iron Giant. If you ever saw that movie, my eyes will go red and I start targeting.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that happens. Those are the things that cause fear, not fear. Anger. They say anger is all based in fear. Maybe the fear in me is the fear that I will never be controlled like that again. And when I see it in other people around me that I care for and that I protect, I will not let that happen to them. That is not something I will do. That doesn't mean I don't have arguments with my wife. That doesn't mean I don't have arguments with good family members or friends, with my wife, about, with other people. And I take their sides and I go, yeah, what about what he said? Yeah, bitch. And, we'll do that sometimes to each other. But for the most part, that's the basis of that. And that's where it comes from. And they say that when you are an abused kid, and I'm talking sexual abuse, things like that. I was 5 years old when it happened to me. When that happens, it shifts, it clicks over, it creates a change in your mode of operation. And what happens is you grow up and you sometimes look for bad relationships to get in as a result, or as an adult, because you try to resolve the problems by getting yourself into the scenario again of some kind, some abusive kind. Now, I will gladly say I'm way over that stuff. That was the stuff of the past. And that's the stuff I came to terms with when I was a young man. But now that I'm an old man, getting to be an old man, I'm not an old man yet.
Close.
I can still hold my own.
Yes, you can still hold it.
And but what happens is when you get a little older and you've gotten control of this and you still can't change. I sometimes wonder, what kind of person would I be if that hadn't happened to me when I was a kid? I'd have grown up with a very different personality, I think, a different attitude about things. Maybe I wouldn't be as strong. Maybe I wouldn't be as forceful. Maybe I wouldn't be such an asshole at times. I'm an asshole when I think, and it's not rational. It's those deep down things where you think, somebody's trying to control me and I'm going to fight that. And I have to be very cognitive of that. Otherwise, I can let that carry me away. And what this guy did to her today set that off. It was like lighting a bomb. And I was ready to go ballistic. And because I let that overcome me. Now, does that mean I will deal with it in a different way? No, it just means I'm not going to deal with it violently. I'm not going to deal with it in a bad way, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And what I've got to be very careful of through the process is to make sure I don't let that old control stuff take over. And I've got to govern and control myself. This is why I pull stuff like this out. This is why I've been doing these impromptu things with this the last few days. it's so we can have ways to learn how to be bold, how to be confident in what we do and how we act. So that's what this is about. It's being bold, it's being confident, knowing how to use your tools right. So anyway,
I would like to say I was proud of myself for having the confidence
yeah,
to use words.
hell yeah.
And not start a whole huge large fight, because it
Hell
was
yeah.
hard not to. It was really hard not to.
Yeah, I'll bet. It would have been hard. I would have been hard pressed had I been there. Then again, he may not have done it if I was there, because that is a classic case of intimidation and bullying by somebody. He chose somebody that he knew was physically weaker than he was. Obviously a sexist, if you will, because he saw her as being weak because she was a woman. And he unloaded on her.
And I asked for him to stop and let's talk about this somewhere else.
Yep.
Doesn't need to be done here, not in front of the kids, not in public. We can use a phone, we can get together somewhere else. And no, he kept going, and it finally ended up where I just walked away. I just walked away.
I found my tooth.
There you go.
Okay.
And so I kind of wanted to bring that up as a current event that happened to us. As how do you take events like that and turn them into learning experiences, self-learning, learning that you can share with other people, learning so you can look inside a little bit and find out, okay, what governs me and what makes me tick? Why did that make you angry? Why did that make you feel belittled? And it's almost like there's this secret vow I took way back when I was a kid and things were forming that said, I will not be intimidated by anybody. That's why when I say, remember you've heard me say it, offense. I've said, you cannot offend me. Doesn't mean there aren't moments where I go, oh, what the hell?
Only your wife can.
Only my wife can, yeah. And my wife offends me. I go, what are you doing? Offensive bitch. But no, it's, here's the thing is that you can, I have said about offense, you can't offend me. Do you know why? Because I choose to not be offended. Offense, being offended is a choice. Think about that for a second. If somebody says something about you or your family or your color of your skin or your race or your heritage, whatever it might be, somebody says something and offends you, you know what? You're only offended because you choose to allow what they said take control and power over you. Now, I can be righteously pissed off about something somebody said, but you will never offend me. Do you know why? I choose to not be offended by your words. This is something that was instilled in me from a very early age. And it took me many years, by the way, to have the confidence to express that. And so that's what I'm talking about, that kind of stuff. So hopefully, oh, hey, Amanda B, back again. Your battery died. Sorry. Good to see you, by the way, all the way from Australia. Down under. down where it's Foster's. Now that's a beer.
Jeez Louise.
Crikey. So it's good to have you here. And I know Suze is from down there as well when you see her. It's like a verbal explosion. I don't know if you're talking about me. There is a little bit of a delay here. There's like a 30-second delay on this broadcast that's through YouTube, I do believe. You've put yourself in timeout many times. Amanda says, yeah, I know. I understand that. I get that. And so that's not a knife, says Matt. So I think I could pick up Australian accent real easy if I lived down there. We should move down there for like a year.
Spiders and snakes.
Spiders and snakes.
And crocodiles.
Yeah, there's spider snakes and crocodiles. Are they everywhere down there, Amanda?
Oof,
Susie?
That gives me the
Susie,
shivers just thinking about it.
Australia, I beg my pardon, my dad's sister lives there. And it says, Matthew, I come from the land down under. Sharks, you got sharks too. Oh my God, the spiders. There you go. But it's like what? What time is there? Is it like
we could go waltz our billabongs or waltz our Matildas.
we could waltz our billabongs. I think she's mixing up her Australian metaphors.
Yeah, I don't know nothing. I'm still scrambling.
I'll go marching by that billabong.
Yeah. Do it.
Waltzing my Matilda. So I think it's like what, about 4 in the afternoon there, noon, something like that. It's whatever it is down there.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Australia's big,
and
so
it's
it could
noon
be a whole bunch of different times.
Tomorrow. She's actually time traveling, Amanda B, to be with us today because it's like 14 hours ahead of us tomorrow down there already. So, and you got frogs and roos. You must not hit driving at night. We have a deer problem here. It's deer season right now. You go driving down the road and deer run out in front of you, kill your car. Not to mention, it's not so light on the deer either. But waltz in your why. Waltz in your why. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. down there right now, folks. So there you go. And I suppose Australia is so big that you probably have your own time zones, like America.
Yeah.
So, whoa.
Oh, we got stuff.
Well, there you go, folks. I think I've said everything I meant to say.
Yeah, he said it all.
If anybody has anything you want to add to tonight's show over in the chat room, go ahead and say it now. And because, I didn't pay close attention during the chat. When I get really going.
When you start talking.
Barry says, yep, negative frequencies. Breathe in, breathe out, in, out. That's what I wasn't doing during the show. So
yeah, I was going to try to light this, but somebody stole my lighter.
This is relaxing. It's right back there.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez, Louise.
There, that's North Dakota. Oh, jeez. Steve said, Doug, I learned to walk away before that happens again, unless the person or whatever caused the anger, leave me alone for a little while. Yeah, there's that too.
There you go. That helps relax.
There you go. Lit some incense. Is that my current one?
Nope, it's empty.
All right.
If it was current, you drink it all.
All right. Matt Fedden said, stood your ground without escalating the situation for the kid's sake. High five, Mama Rainey.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
And and that's very true. And you know what? I don't do a lot of walking away from things. Rather, all right, you started it, asshole. We're going to take it out now in the open. I do have a tendency to be able to calm myself fairly quickly. I can calm myself in a dire situation and go, okay, I'm done. Let's move on. Let's solve this.
Yeah, he didn't want to solve it, and he didn't want to move on. I just walked away.
Yeah.
He was not. Oh.
So, what did anybody else say? Just looking, there's lots of comments, and sorry I didn't keep so on top. Yes, the Military Code of Uniform Code of Military Justice, the UCMJ. There it is. Thank you, Steve. When I was stumbling over that, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It's your knowledge. This is your knowledge. So some jarhead drill instructor.
I'll tell you the story how I felt about him on Sunday. How about that?
How you felt about me?
About this guy.
On Sunday.
On Sunday when we
on
recording
Sunday.
On Sunday, I'll tell everybody how I felt.
There you go. Sunday morning, she'll come back and
my thoughts when I first met this guy, not realizing.
There you go.
Who or what or why was going to happen.
There it is. Siani, I don't think I said hello to you tonight. I saw you a couple times and it was out of context to say hi.
Cheese curds.
Cheese curds.
Doug
Doug
wants cheese curds. Me too.
Take that box with you tomorrow, says Kelly.
What box?
See, out of context, there's all kinds of stuff being talked about here.
Burn
hey,
stuff.
Field guy, burn stuff, he says.
Burning stuff right now. Here, look at our awesome incense holder.
Yeah, look at that. Incense holder. There it is.
Totally sophisticated here.
Sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. I'm just going to see if anybody else has anything I missed that's vital. Trip him and run, says Amanda. Run as fast as you can. You got to kick him, too. If you trip him, kick him.
Well.
So
I'm glad I stayed civil. I'm glad I was good with my words, because knowing that this person is somebody who is hired and paid to be at the school, which potentially
take this
harasses my
box with
daughter
us
while
tomorrow.
I'm there. I want to make sure I'm a little bit on the higher ground, because I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
I'm not
this
either. I'm not
man.
okay with this guy. The principal wants to, she said, I think I need to have you guys in here. We need to talk this out now.
Mm-hmm.
She was very, very adamant about that. Let's get this fixed now. I think she sees, one of the last things I said in my letter, I said, if you guys, I expect you all at the school to be on top of this now. And I said, if you aren't, I said, I'll just go file a police report, and we'll have done. We'll move on that way. Not because I feel I need to give my problems to the police or somebody else. It's that I can't go beat the shit out of the guy without getting thrown in jail.
Well, it's not even that. Some of it is, has he done this to other parents before?
Yep.
He is in a school. He's interacting with our children. What has been done before to other families, other children? What do we need to be worried about? What should we be concerned about? And should something be marked on the books in case it does happen again? Because chances are this isn't the first kid.
Yep. If he's going to do this to my wife, and he's the thing that impresses me.
But it wasn't just wife. It was kid.
She's there in the store with my kids, and he's standing for 10 minutes in silence watching them.
Yeah.
She thinks he's in line waiting to get to the machine.
Get a shake. There's only one shake machine.
And so he was there, just standing in the line, watching him. So we will start getting this resolved tomorrow. I'll tell you that. Let's see. Hate the cold, but I couldn't live somewhere hot, says Siani. You know, I'm starting to get to a place where I'm not liking the cold and ice anymore. I grew up in Minnesota.
Nebraska. We should go to Nebraska. It's not too cold there, but it's not too hot either.
That's like...
And maybe there's not as many poisonous snakes and spiders.
We're not swimming in the lava. Let's just go up on the crest of the volcano.
Yeah.
No, I could go somewhere. I want to go somewhere different. I want to live somewhere different.
Arizona.
Is that different enough?
Well, there's aliens, and I'm down with that.
Well, there are aliens.
We got Bigfoot here. There's not really Bigfoots in the desert. We got aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like watching the sky.
Yeah.
Seeing if you get butt probed at night. I don't know.
Nebraska. I don't want to be butt probed at all. Tell you the truth.
Oh, man.
A nice ship can do the job, says Amanda. Let's see. I'm about to buy a house soon in Louisiana, says Doug Stack.
That's hot down there.
It's hot in Louisiana.
Humid.
It's humid. What do you want with humid? I don't like humid. I don't mind hot. Heat doesn't bother me. I hate sticky, humid. Your clothes stick to your body, and you have a film of sweat on your body all the time for breathing because it's humid outside. You give me a dry heat. I'll take a dry heat. So maybe a finger just to see how it feels. You're talking about butt. Hey, watch it there. Watch it there, you. Oh, okay.
Big shirt.
All right. The light doesn't hit it on the camera the way it does here.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's weird. See?
It's just solid black.
See, she looks solid black, and she's really not. See? But it looks solid black right there.
Shadows. I have like 2 sets of boobs.
Yeah, almost. So, anyway, there we go, folks. That's all I got. I got no way to neatly tie this up into a knot tonight other than to say I appreciate your being here. When we start launching the new memberships here, we're going to do after-hours shows more often. We'll do more readings and things like that, and we'll have newsletters and stuff like that. You'll know.
We'll see if we can get the kids to sing a song or two for you.
Oh, yeah, that'll make it special. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, adieu, adieu to you and you and you.
We don't have enough kids to sing that.
We got 6. Oh, well, I got 6. We only have 3 that live at home.
Yeah, there's not enough.
So they'll have to double up on roles.
I don't need to be getting any more kids here.
All right, guys. So we're going to call it quits for tonight. It is now, we've run over 20 minutes. It's 19 minutes after 10. Sorry, Jimmy Johnson over there on Beyond Reality Radio. So we ran over tonight. I like doing live shows. We're going to do more often until we work up to, in a very short period of time, doing all our shows live. And the only way you'll get a pre-recorded show is if we have to be out for the night. So I want to thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow night. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Amanda, get your butt in here a little earlier. If it's 2 o'clock there now, come in here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon is when the show airs in Australia. Sue's, same for you if you're in the same time zone in Australia. Those of you over in England and Europe, it's usually 3 in the morning, so you're probably not going to make it in. But all of you, take care. Thanks for being here. And Rainey, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate
Thanks for having me, she says.
Yeah.
She says it to me all the time. It's like, thanks for having me. And I'm like, of course.
No, and once in an occasional while, he'll have a, thanks for listening to me.
Thanks for listening to me. Sure. Sure, honey. Go get me a beer. All right, guys. And a sandwich. All right, you all have a good night. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. It means a lot to me that you take your time to be over here, spend it with me. So we'll see you later. Good night.
Bye.
And bye.